Hello and welcome to the Art of Connecting podcast. This is my first episode here, and I am so excited to be starting on this journey with you guys. So a little bit about what this podcast is going to entail. This podcast is going to be all about how to build your network, how to talk to people, and how to ask for what you need to grow. So, without any further ado, I want to tell you guys a little bit about myself and about how my journey has been networking. I've really only been networking for probably a little over a year now. I started because I was in college, and I actually have a fun story. I'm going to shout out a local DJ here. So I was on Instagram, and I followed this guy named DJ Scuba Steve. And he posted on his Instagram about this networking event. It was with a company called Nuga Networking, and they were out at this really cool venue, and he just posted a video on his story about how everyone was out there talking and drinking, and it looked like they were having a great time. And I was like, man, that's what networking is like? That looks like some fun. So I followed that company on Instagram, and they posted about the next event they had coming up, and I was like, I'm going. So I put it on my calendar, and I showed up to this hotel, this random hotel downtown Chattanooga at 8 o'clock in the morning, and just went into this room of people that I had no idea who they were. I didn't know a single person there at all. And I just walked in, and I had no idea what to do. I had never been to a networking event before in my life. I had never even experienced anything like that. I'd been to, churches and new environments, but I had never put myself in the position of going into a room with the purpose of building a network. So I grabbed some coffee, started kind of walking around, and they had little puppies in this pen in the hotel room with the tarp down. So it was really kind of great to break the ice with that and play with some puppies, and it was a great talking point. So I just started walking around. I think I was about 20, 21 years old at this point in my life, and I was most definitely the youngest person in the room for a little while, if not the whole time. So when I got started, I was walking around, and people would come up to me and just start talking to me. And I started talking back, talking about what my goals were. They're asking, hey, what do you do for a living? And I was like, yeah, I work this part-time job. I'm in college. And the feedback that I commonly got was, wow, you're so young to be out here networking. Like, this is going to take you so far in life. And I was like, I just came because it looked fun. And there was free coffee and donuts as well. As a college student, that's always a plus. I loved it so much. So at the end of this event, I went up to the founders of the company, Abby and John, and I was like, hey guys, I really just want to be a part of this. Like, it was so cool. I met all these really awesome people, and they were like, we just founded the company, we can't pay you. And I was like, I don't want to be paid. I just want to help you guys out in like planning the events and anywhere that I can help you. And they were like, okay, cool. Well, we'll send you a meeting request and we'll meet up and have a talk about that. So kind of skipping forward, that led to me helping in areas of the company as far as like maybe going out and looking at some event spaces and talking with people who run hotels and stuff like that, and also going out with John, the founder, and really kind of exploring different venues. And then also I would sit at the table, and as people came in, I would greet them, and then I'd switch out with other people and get to network while I was there at all the events as well. So through that, it started a little bit of a spark in me to really want to go and network with people. And I started to realize just how important this is, the concept of talking to people and being interested in what others have to say. And this led to so many other adventures that I'm sure I'll talk about throughout all the episodes. My life is like, you can't even explain the amount of different really cool stories I've been able to have. And I'm so thankful for that. To continue on with this story here, kind of coming up and bring you to where I'm at now, I have been to probably about 50 to 75 networking events. I haven't kept count, which that's kind of a good idea. I'm going to start keeping a tracker. So I'm reminding myself of things I need to do while I'm recording this. But yeah, so I have been to several networking events now, and I've learned so much. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a recommendation on a book to read, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I just finished it up this morning, and it's been one of the most valuable reads that I've had to date. It really teaches you the aspects of caring about others. It teaches you how to properly communicate with people. And even though there are some very old references in there, they talk about like the Packard being the nicest, coolest car. It was written in the 1950s, but so many of the principles that Dale Carnegie talks about are still true. In this podcast, I want to go ahead and tell you some more about what you can expect, since this is our intro video here. It's supposed to be me telling about my life, but that's not that interesting. What you can expect in this podcast coming forward is going to be some incredible guests, some people that I've had the pleasure of meeting and knowing in my life, some people who are the best connectors that I know. I want to have them on, pick their brain. I also want to have people from a wide variety of different places. So I want to have doctors on, medical doctors, professors from colleges. I want to have people in the corporate world talk about how they use connections and how they use their network to grow and get promoted. I also want to talk to nonprofit leaders and talk about how it's so important to have that network to be able to perpetuate your nonprofit. And also through this, I want people to get out pieces that they can take and apply that to what they're doing right now. So I'm really going to be focusing on making this actionable steps that you can take and things that you can do right now to grow your network that doesn't cost any money. All it takes is your time. And through that, you will, I'm positive, be able to get that promotion you've been working towards. You're going to be able to get that new job you've been looking for. You're going to be able to meet people that you never even imagined you would be able to meet. And through the principles that we'll be talking about on this, we will just all grow together, because I know that every single guest I'm going to have on is going to bring something different to the table, some different things that they do. And I'm just so excited for that. So you guys go on and buckle up. We're going to be having some fun. We're going to be rocking and rolling here. February 1 is going to be my first guest interview that we have on. And if you've made it this far, I just want to say you're freaking awesome. Like, thank you so much for listening to me. And I'm just so excited. So if you want to reach out, feel free to send me an email. It's going to be Haydynn, Haydynn. Make sure you spell it right. Mama gave me a weird name. You're probably listening to this, Mom. Thank you for making me unique. So it's Haydynn, Haydynn, at art, A-R-T, of connectingpod.com. And the website's going to be going live soon. Follow me on Instagram, Art of Connecting Podcast. And I'm on LinkedIn as well, The Art of Connecting Podcast. So see you guys soon. We'll talk soon. We'll have some cool guests on. Stay tuned.